Good morning and welcome to Finlandia Fridays. My name is Michael Babcock. I am your host, and we are happy today to have with us Dr. Hilary Virtanen from our Suomi College of Arts and Sciences. Hilary is an assistant professor of Finnish studies. Did I get that all correct?
You absolutely did.
I think I might have mispronounced your name though.
Well, in Finland they would say Virtanen, but you know, those R's are kind of hard
Virtanen.
to Yes, very good.
I try. I actually, years ago, I believe I took one of your community classes on learning Finnish. This is before we had met, so you probably don't remember it, but I remember going to that and trying to do it, and I can't do the R's.
Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things, if people aren't born with it, sometimes it's never going to happen.
But it's fun, and it's an interesting part. This is our first time we've been able to talk about our Finnish heritage on the Finlandia Fridays here. But we're actually the only university in the United States that was founded by Finns, which is kind of a fun claim to fame here. But we're also in an area that's very rich in Finnish heritage. A lot of Finns came over to the copper country to get into mining, and it's led to us having a very heavy cultural aspect of Finnish heritage here.
Absolutely. Population-wise, it's about 35% of Houghton County is ethnically Finnish, so that's the largest concentration outside of Finland.
Yeah, I've seen that map of the United States that shows other areas, and nowhere else is even close.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
It's something we're kind of proud of here, and it's something that makes Finlandia University unique and makes Hancock unique. You'll see Finnish words all throughout town here. And today we're here actually to talk about the Paloheimo's fellowship program we have, which is a really unique opportunity we have for students. And Hilary, I'm hoping you can talk to people about what that program is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the most interesting study abroad programs I've ever seen, and so I'm really proud to be in charge of it. The Paloheimo Fellows Program is a competitive study abroad program where I'm allowed to take 4 students from any major from Finlandia University with me to do really intensive field research in Finland for about a 2.5 to 3 week period in the month of May. And so students from any major are welcome to apply. They do have to be upper level students, so either a junior or senior in a 4-year program or the last year of a 2 or 3 year program. And they have to have, good academic background. They have to be outgoing. They have to be very community organized within Finlandia's campus and a broader community. They also have to be able to work well with a team. We spend a lot of time going together and visiting different sites throughout Finland and learning a lot of basic aspects about Finnish society and culture today and relating to it about how Finnish Americans think about it from the past, what Finland was like when we left and what it's like now. It's quite a different place. So we'll go and we're there. We mostly spend time in Tampere. We go to a couple of the biggest cities in Finland and then to a really nice rural city, which is a lot like Twin Lakes. And we just talk to people about their everyday lives in Finland. Like we visited the mayor of Tampere, we visited public school, we've visited a couple of prisons now. So we do all kinds of things and get to see these different pieces of life across Finnish society. And then we write about it and we document it and we film it and, talk about what it's like.
Yeah, it's I've seen pictures now for the last couple of years. I've been watching and following along on the blog, and it's been fun to watch. What I love about this program too is that it's not just one of those things where you sign up and you go in the summer. It's something where you're going at it right now, and it's a competitive thing. So people need to fill out these applications. They're actually due on November 9th, so it's coming up very quickly. So if you know somebody that'd be interested in this, make sure you let them know right away that they need to apply for this before they miss out on their opportunity. But as I was saying, what's unique about it is you have this entire semester experience. It's not just that 2-week trip, it's also all this planning beforehand. What does that entail?
So the semester before, during the spring, once I know who the 4 students are, and actually I should back it up and mention that one of the reasons this is competitive is because it is mostly covered by a grant that I apply for every couple of years from the Paloheimo Foundation. And so the students, the vast majority of the costs are covered for the travel. And so when we meet up in the spring semester, what we do is we do some focused readings on aspects of Finnish culture. So the assumption is that students could have absolutely no background in Finland. They might know just where it is on a map, right? And so they come and they learn things about Finnish history and culture, some basics, and then they do some focused readings on things that interest them about Finnish society. And a lot of times it'll tie into their major. So if we have a student in healthcare, they'll learn about the Finnish healthcare system, or we might have a student in the arts programs who will look at Finnish art and art culture. I've had students who are very interested in the education system, and even though we don't have an education major, it doesn't matter if it's what interests them. I let them roll with it. And so they each become both generally acquainted with aspects of Finnish culture and society, and then very focused on these different things. And so they become the expert when we're there. I tell them, I don't know anything about business. I'm a folklorist. I'm a language person. So when we go to Finland, if you're reading about business culture there, you're going to be the one who talks about it. You're going to be our expert there. And so we all learn how to depend on each other as this very kind of well-informed team. And so that's what we do before we go there. Is they also learn how to do things like document, photograph, interview, describe. Because that's the biggest, most rich thing about this blog, is that because these students are spending so much time there and such a very intensive amount of time there, they need to learn how to make the experience something that people can relate to through the blog. So I make them taste very, very distinct, sharp-flavored, strange Finnish food, and learn how to tell people what that was like. Learn how to tell people what the sound of a certain type of music was like, or what it felt like to be in a sauna, or all these things. It's a sensory thing that I hope that they can share with people who read our blog.
That's an excellent explanation, and I always like when we talk about the Paloheimo Fellows Program is this undergraduate research, because undergraduate research is something you don't see a lot of, but it's something that we're proud to offer our students. And something else you touched on that I want to make sure we highlight it is the costs are almost all covered. I believe you had the figure at under $1,000 for the whole experience?
Yeah, I tell students when they apply that their estimated cost would be maybe $1,000, and that's very generous. The things that they do have to pay for out of pocket would be a passport if they don't already have one. They would also have to pay for some meals, but most of the meals are actually covered with our travel plans. And then, of course, spending money, because I can't buy all their souvenirs. So, if they have that, and there might be a little, oh, whoops, money, like if, say, their suitcase breaks tragically and they need a new one or whatever. But, I've never seen anybody spend more than that. Well, usually they come home with at least a couple $100.
So it's I mean, just kind of backing up and looking at the whole situation, you have it's 3 credits?
Yes.
So it's a 3 credit course you're taking. You're getting to travel to Finland, and when you're there, almost everything is already covered for you as part of what you're doing, and it's just an incredible opportunity for these students. So I want to encourage all students to get out there and look at this, and if you know a student that goes here, let them know about it. Make sure that they're aware, because this is an opportunity that students of all majors should look into, at least to see if it's something that they could take advantage of. We'll have all kinds of links for this information if you go to the show notes at finlandia.edu/Fridays. That'll include links on how to apply, link to the blog, which is quite an interesting read. One of the things that I would suggest doing is going back and kind of look at some of those old blog posts, look at some of the photos they took, some of the places they went, because it's quite motivating, and it gives you an idea of what they're going to be doing coming up this upcoming year. Last year, I know you guys went to Russia and another country too.
Well, yeah, the past 2 years. The first year we, in addition to Finland, went to Russia and Estonia. So we visited St. Petersburg and Tallinn, Estonia, and Tartu, Estonia. Last year we went to Tallinn, Estonia. And this year, I'm still in the planning stages, but I'm thinking that we're actually going to go a little west and visit Stockholm, Sweden, very briefly, and possibly the Åland Islands, which is this island chain between Finland and Sweden that has a really unique Swedish-speaking culture, but they're still citizens of Finland. So that's an important thing, is that when we're there, people in Europe, they travel between their countries the same way we would go to Ohio or, Wisconsin. And so when we're already in Finland, for a lot of students, this may be their first chance, and possibly their only chance for quite a while, to get to go overseas. And so I do try to expand it by having them go to a place that has a related history. Russia was in charge of Finland for 100 years and had a lot of bearing on Finland's independence over the past 100 years too. Estonia is linguistically and culturally related to Finland, and they've had very close ties for millennia. And then Sweden, of course, was the kingdom that had Finland first for about 600 years. And so to go over to Stockholm and to go to these islands where there's this Finnish ethnic community of Swedish speakers really deepens the experience and helps people to understand how different cultures work across each other in Europe, because it's a different thing from what we get in the States.
It all sounds incredible. We got to make sure we have a big shout out here for the Paloheimo Foundation for making this all possible. I believe this is the 3rd year of that granting. Is that right?
It is, and I cannot thank the Paloheimo Foundation enough. I mean, they're really, really, really wonderful to get to give such an opportunity to students who may not have it otherwise. And we're really lucky because the Paloheimo Foundation, they make their mark in a lot of really excellent ways. They do things for the Sibelius Academy in Finland. They do stuff for a lot of really, really, really high caliber programs around the world. And so, for us to be a member of this really, really interesting kind of club, I guess you would say, is an honor. you know, it's a real honor. And we got to meet members of the Paloheimo Foundation just in September, and they're really excited about getting to see the way that they've impacted the lives of our students. One of our alumni of the first year of the Paloheimo Fellows Program, he loved it so much, Schwartz Armand, that he's studying in Jyväskylä, Finland right now. And, you know, I'll bet you $500 right now that in 5 years, maybe he'll be living there, you know? So, I mean, they change lives. They do things for people that wouldn't get to happen anyway. And so my gratitude for them will never end.
And this is a story we talk about a lot at Finlandia. We do a lot of really unique things that we want people to know about, and it's one of the reasons that we're glad you're here listening or watching Finlandia Fridays, which is our weekly video interview series. And I want to thank Dr. Virtanen for being on the show today. And I'm assuming we'll have you back on again this year at some point, because you do some really interesting things. Maybe we'll have you on with one of your students talking about the course next semester.
Absolutely. Have us anytime.
Excellent. So you can go to finlandia.edu/Fridays and check out the full archive of all of our episodes, and check out the full show notes, which will have links to the blog and links to the application, so that you can find out more about how your student or yourself can get involved with Finlandia Fridays. And also, we want to have a shout out to the people who have donated a couple of things for us here to our set, and let you know that we still need more stuff. So if you have anything that you think would go well in our set, some Sumi College apparel maybe, or some Finlandia University trinkets or anything like that, we'd be happy to have it here on set. So thank you for subscribing, and we will see you next Friday.